Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for manager Marty.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for manager Marty.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for manager Marty.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
People, yes.
You didn't ask me who inspires me?
Who inspires you?
Beyonce.
Okay.
Tell Beyonce before I retire. Where the camera?
Talk to Beyonce. There you go.
Beyonce listening, baby girl. Before I retire, which is in 8 more years, I'll retire when I'm 38. So actually 7 years. Sorry. I need you to walk me out. You pick the song. And you can only perform 30 seconds, 1 minute, whatever you decide. But before I retire, I need Beyonce to walk out the greatest woman of all time. And that's my only request. I won't ask you for nothing else. I won't even ask you for a picture if that's not what you want. But come walk your... Look, I'm not saying right now. I know I'm A-list, you A-list, but I ain't talking about right now. I'm talking about... Give me about good 3, 4, 5, even my last fight. Walk me out, and my dreams in boxing would be... They
completed everything is done at that point. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, welcome to another episode of Roll the Tape podcast with manager Marty. Come on in, grab a plate. I have some food that I want to serve you, some food for thought. Double salute to all of you that's watching me live and live in color. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be here with me. I appreciate you. Double salute to those that's watching a replay of this live. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Join the channel, become a member of the Roll the Tape family, and become a member and supervisor of the Roll the Tape film crew. Now, enough with the hugs, handshakes, and Valentine's Day cards. I'm going to play that last piece. I'm going to play that last piece that I just played again. And then we're going to get into the show. Now, this is not the audio that I'm going to reference as the base. I have some more audio I want to play. So stay right there. Don't leave. Stay right there. Don't move. But Claressa Shields was recently in an interview that was conducted by TMZ Sports. Shout out to TMZ Sports. This is what, you know what, I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape.
Well, yes.
You didn't ask me who inspires me?
Who inspires you?
Beyonce.
Okay.
Tell Beyonce before I retire. Where the camera?
Talk to Beyonce. There you go.
Beyonce listening, baby girl. Before I retire, which is in 8 more years, I'll retire when I'm 38. So actually 7 years. Sorry. I need you to walk me out. You pick the song. And you can only perform 30 seconds, 1 minute, whatever you decide. But before I retire, I need Beyonce to walk out the greatest woman of all time. And that's my only request. I won't ask you for nothing else. I won't even ask you for a picture if that's not what you want. But come walk your... Look, I'm not saying right now. I know I'm A-list, you A-list, but I ain't talking about right now. I'm talking about... Give me about good 3, 4, 5, even my last fight. Walk me out, and my dreams in boxing would be... They
completed everything is done.
Did y'all hear that? Let's do a quick audio check. I promise you I won't hold you too long this morning. Let's do a quick audio check, shall we? Did y'all hear that? In the live chat, let's get some engagement. Yes or no? Did y'all? I want to make sure my audio is clear. Did y'all hear that? If you don't want to type the full word in, that's fine. The letter Y represents the word yes. The letter N represents the word no. If you're watching a replay of this live, I love seeing feedback. Let's engage. Did y'all hear that? In the comment section, just, did she say Beyonce? She said Beyonce. I know, I'm talking, I know what I heard. And I want to make sure y'all heard it. Salute to everybody that's showing me love in the live chat. I see you. Appreciate y'all. Good morning to each and every last one of you. You know, the last time I told, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. Stop it, Marty. Behave. I'm gonna leave. Good morning. That's all I'm gonna say. Good morning. That's all. Good morning. The last time I said good morning to a woman on this show, the response was, yeah. No. This ain't got nothing to do with it. But you know, I saw, hey man, look, y'all better chill now. Y'all better chill. Mac Marty. Somebody called me handsome in the live chat. You know, Mac Marty had come out real quick now. But listen, did y'all hear? I'm gonna leave it alone. But listen, did y'all hear? Did y'all hear Claressa? She said Beyonce. Now I'm gonna tell y'all what I think about that real quick. We're gonna double back on that. We're gonna bust a U-E, as we say in Philly. We're gonna bust a U-turn, right? On her talking about Beyonce walking her to the ring. Not now, she said. And 3 to 4 or 5, not 4, but 4. This is for my down south audience members. Yeah, 4, 5, or even 7 years before she retires. She want Beyonce to walk her to the ring. Yeah, she want Beyonce. Where Beyonce from again? Oh, okay. I'm gonna leave that part alone. We're gonna bust a U-E back on that. We're gonna bust a U-turn. I'm gonna revisit that part. But before I do, real quick, I'm gonna give you my opinion. I think this is what I think. Because no, hear me out. This is what I think. Because Claressa Shields love being in the algorithm. Okay? She makes thousands of dollars off of social media, monetarily speaking, on a weekly basis. Right? Not, listen now, these are her words, not mine. I don't pocket watch. In this very same interview, that's what she told the interviewer here on TMZ Sports. That's what she said. But what I'm saying is, if she walked out with another recording artist, a different female recording artist, I think her numbers seem like they're good. You know, making a couple of thousand every week on social media is awesome. That's great money. But her numbers will shoot through the roof. No, I have a suggestion. Now, I know some people are not going to like this. I have a suggestion of a female artist, okay, that she can have walk her to the ring. I think it'll be a great ring entrance, if you ask me. I don't think that Beyonce will walk Claressa Shields out to the ring. That's just my personal opinion. I just don't think so. But it's a business. Money talks. You know? I mean, it's not far-fetched. Money talks. But I think if Claressa Shields had this particular female artist walk her to the ring, man, oh man, it would do big numbers on her social media platforms. It will do big numbers on everybody's social media platforms. I mean, no, she wants to be a part of the algorithm. I have a suggestion. I think Remy Ma would be a great artist to walk Claressa Shields to the ring. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Can you imagine seeing Remy perform, walking Claressa Shields to the ring? And look, she gave Beyonce carte blanche to choose whatever song she wanted to choose. Can you imagine Remy Ma having the same carte blanche to choose whatever song she want to choose to walk Claressa to the ring? Oh, my man. Oh, my man. Oh, my lady. Listen, I think Remy Ma will be a great choice to walk Claressa Shields to the ring. Yes. Now, she is supposed to fight again, either in December or January of 2027, December of 2026 or January 2027. They're already working out a new opponent for her anyway, as we speak. By all accounts. Okay, that's what we're going to circle back to it before I let you go. Now, it's crazy to me how people can be so comfortable to say, God told me this and God told me that. I'm just saying people in general. I'm just saying in general. That's just my personal, I don't know who Claressa Shields was referring to when she said God. I don't know. But I wanted to, what, I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape.
He kept motivating me. He kept speaking to me and saying, hey, this is your calling. Don't get distracted. And now to see where I am now, making millions of dollars, got all my cars and, got my glam and got the jewelry. I'm just like, man, God was not playing when he said he would make your enemies your footstool. Like, he wasn't playing. Like, they be watching me eat them up in every way possible. And I just feel like God already told, he would be like, just focus. And every time I get ready to sell out an arena, people start doing weird stuff, like trying to distract me, being lame and being corny, trying to get my attention. And I just remember when I was younger and God was like, focus on what's important. Focus on the fight. Focus on your performance. Focus on your sleep. Focus on everything till the fight is over. You can address these losers after.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But before the fight, everything and everybody gets ignored because this is all about you. And if you lose, you can't blame nobody else. But God has already let me know I have designed it for you to win. Like, my last fight against K. Scott, right? I have fought against girls who are way better than K. Scott.
Right.
But it wasn't in front of, well, in the UK, it was in front of 20,000, but that was 20,000 of Savannah Marshall fans. Right. Kind of.
Right.
Yeah. So being able to be a ticket seller in America, and now I'm fighting against K. Scott, it was like God will give you opportunities. It's all about, are you going to take advantage of the opportunities? And it was like, listen, K. Scott was tough.
Yeah.
She was rugged. She was experienced. But God was like, you have worked so hard on getting knockouts and you have failed time and time again. But now you're sharper. Now you're sharper. You know how to aim your punches. You know how to time them. You're very strategic. This fight here, you need to get the knockout. Even though it's like, yes, I could have beat her 10 rounds. I can beat all these girls 10 rounds easy. I've never had a majority or a split decision in my life. Right. So I beat them all easy. But God, it was like, this fight, you have to lock in extra because this is the fight where you want the knockout. Right. Like, you want to knock out all these other fights, this is the one. Right. And it was the one because we're in the Black Mecca, Atlanta. Yeah. Usher is ringside. Right.
Everybody.
Yeah. Right. And it was like, Zeus in the house. This is the time right now. So my mindset and everything was so different. But that's what I'm saying. Like, God was like, I fought all these other hard fights, girls who 20-0. Yeah. 15-0. 16-0 with 9 knockouts. 12-0 with 10 knockouts. I mean, I fought killers.
Right.
Early in my career, I was like 4-0, 5-0, 6-0. These girls got 20 fights. I'm
Right,
fighting.
right.
And now I got 18, 19 fights, and God was like, yeah, Case got two-time world champion.
Right.
She's 5-1, 5-1-1. She's world champion. She called you out. And I could have went there and fought how I usually fight and have quick hands and just piece her up and beat her up.
10 rounds.
10 rounds. But it was like, no, this fight here, you got to make a statement.
Right.
And had I got off focus, I wouldn't have been able to make that statement.
Right.
So I stayed focused. I locked in. And I mean, I'm still trending from a knockout that happened last week.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear that? Y'all told me, some of you, that you heard the audio when I played it about what Claressa said regarding Beyonce. So I'm going to just naturally assume that you all heard that. Now, I know it was a lot to digest, and I'm about to dissect it before I let y'all go. Piece by piece. Y'all know how we do here on the Roller Tape podcast. So God told Claressa Shields to get the knockout of K. Scott because Zeus was there, Usher was sitting ringside, Floyd Mayweather was there. That's what God told her. Is that what I heard? That's what I heard? That's not all I heard. I heard some other things. Once again, I don't know who Claressa Shields referring to when she says God. I don't know, because there's a lot of professed gods in the world. So I tell you what God she wasn't referring to. For sure. She wasn't referring to the God I serve. And that's okay too. We live in a country where we have freedom of religion. So I'm not here to, hey, if she choose the God she choose, that's the God she choose. No judgment here. I will never judge a person for their choice of whatever God they serve or believe in, or if they don't believe in God. I do have a responsibility, though, in that when I encounter someone, right, particularly don't believe in God. But with that being said, I also have a responsibility to those who choose to believe in a different God. Have several responsibilities, right? So I want to make sure I maintain that even with talking about this topic. Because Claressa Shields, she said it about 4 or 5 times. Did y'all hear that? She kept saying, God said, and God told me, God told me, God told me, God told me.
He kept motivating me. He kept speaking to me and saying, hey, this is your calling. Don't get distracted. And now to see where I am now, making millions of dollars, got all my cars and, got my glam and got the jury. I'm just like, man, God was not playing when he said he would make your enemies your footstool. Like, he wasn't playing. Like, they be watching me.
Stop. Did she quote a Bible verse? I don't want to assume what God she's referring to, but it sounds like she quoted a Bible verse when she said God was not playing. He will make your enemies your footstool. That's an actual scripture in the Bible. If you don't know that. No, if you don't know that, that's a Bible verse. Yeah, I mean, I can give you the address and you can go fact check, but I'm telling you, that's a Bible verse. Did she quote a Bible verse? Claressa Shields did. Now, I don't know why she's equating her having millions of dollars, her having the glam, her having jewelry as a part of a blessing from God, because that's what it sounds like she's saying. But she said, God will make your enemies your footstool. That's a Bible verse. I don't want to assume that she's quoting the Bible, referencing that she believes in the Lord. I don't know what God she's referring to, but she definitely quoted a Bible verse. Yeah, now I got a couple of Bible I got a couple Bible verses for Claressa if you want to quote the Bible. I'm just saying. Because God told her to do all of these things.
eat them up in every way possible. And I just feel like God already told, he would be like, just focus, focus, focus. And every time every time I get ready to sell out an arena, people start doing weird stuff, like trying to distract me,
Right.
being lame and being corny, trying to get my attention. And I just remember when I was younger and God was like, focus on what's important. Focus on the fight. Focus on your performance. Focus on your sleep. Focus on everything till the fight is over. You can address these losers after.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But before the fight, everything and everybody gets ignored because this is all about you. And if you lose, you can't blame nobody else.
Lord have mercy. God told her to stay focused. Leading up to a fight when she was younger. No, that's what she said. God told her. I want to know, did God tell her to stay focused for this fight? I mean, because every time I turned around, Claressa Shields was in interview after interview on social media. She was cursing people out. She was insulting other people. She was doing all kind of stuff leading up to this fight with K. Scott. I didn't see her being focused in training camp. She was donating more of her time on social media. Not only that, but we all know what the Bible says about marriage. We all know what the Bible says about divorce. Those that have ears to hear, let them hear. When I say we all know, right? But see, this is why Claressa Shields go on platforms that make her comfortable. Because the interviewers, and I spoke on this before, y'all, I'm not just saying this today to throw a shot at TMZ Sports. I'm saying this in general. They don't ask follow-up questions. Like my follow-up question would have been if Claressa Shields was here and I was interviewing her and she said all that stuff God told her, I'd have asked her, well, what does God say about you fornicating, number one, and number two, fornicating with a married man? What does God say about that? Because it seems like God talked to you a lot. It seems like God tell you a lot. It seems like you are in constant communication with God. That's what it seemed like. That's what it seemed like. So tell us, since you're telling us about everything else God is saying, what did God say to you about those two things? Then no, I know you got the millions of dollars now. We know you got the glam now. We know you got the jewelry now. Yeah, we heard you say all of that. But what did God say about those two things? Because those two things are causing a conflict with your character. See, one thing I know about God and his word, it always come to pass. So anytime you hear anybody, I don't care if you go to church, and a preacher, a minister, a teacher, an elder, I can run down a list of clergymen and women. But the point is, if you hear anybody say that God said, I don't care what religion they serve, you hear anybody say God said, or God told me, according to what the scriptures say, if it doesn't come to pass, they're false. Yeah, if God tell you something, first of all, you got to back it up with evidence. That's why, hey, that's why I always say paperwork. Notice how when people just talk, I always say, show me the paperwork. People get mad when I say that. Not y'all, not the Roller Tape family members. I'm talking about all other people. Content creators have gotten mad. Boxers have gotten mad. Dads of boxers done got mad at me for saying paperwork. We cannot keep going by hearsay. Hearsay is heresy. Huh? So when people say God told me this and God said and God told me, okay, prove it. Where the paperwork at? In other words, is if God told you something, it should be in the doctrine. It should be in the scriptures. If his word never come back void. If God told you something, it should come to pass. Now I know Claressa said God told her basically to knock Kate Scott out because all these people were here. You know, it's a major event. We're gonna get to that in a second. But I find it interesting that God tell Claressa Shields all this stuff. But somehow, some way, God don't tell her about her character. God don't tell her about how she should conduct herself. God don't tell her about how she's fornicating with a married man. God don't tell her none of the things that we know for sure, that's displeasing to God. Now, I'm not saying he's telling her that or not. I'm not God. I'm just saying that I don't see the evidence of it by her behavior pattern. See, it has to happen. You can't say God said and God told me and then it don't happen. You know what's crazy about that? Let me say this for credibility purposes, because, you know, it seems like every now and then I have to say stuff and then preface it by saying credibility, right? And I'm glad that I have to do that now. I'm excited about it. But for credibility purposes, y'all, the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying and how I'm saying what I'm saying is because I grew up in the church as a little kid and went all the way to the levels of being a licensed ordained minister. I know most of you didn't know that. You know, I talk like a preacher every now and then. That where all that come from. But I do it for entertainment purposes, just like the preachers in the church do. I still believe in the Lord. I'm still a Christian. But I do not follow the practices of the traditions and the rituals of the religion of Christianity. I'm not here to knock nobody else. I'm not here to judge anyone else. I know what God has called me to do and what not to do. So I recused myself and my position as an official minister. No, never was a pastor, never was called to be one, right? But I recused myself as a minister. And one of the things I recognize when you have a relationship with God and you communicate with the Lord, he does send people to tell you things. But when that person come to you, I'm trying to help somebody right now. Yeah, we talking about Claressa, but you know, I use everything as a teachable moment. Here it is. When somebody come to you and tell you, God told me to tell you, or God told me this about you, if you have a relationship with God, if you are a believer, right? You're saved. Trying to help somebody right now. Somebody need to hear this. You communicate with God through prayer, fasting, and reading his word. When somebody come to you and tell you God told them to tell you, there's something wrong with that. That's a red flag. Woo-hoo. Huh? I'm about to bless somebody. Listen to what I always tell you. Hurt people, but healed people, heal people. Here it is. Somebody came to me one day, y'all. This is some years ago. They said, God told me to tell you that this is going to happen for your life. I said, okay, preacher man, bishop, elder, pastor, cool. But let me tell you something before you walk away. God didn't tell me that. Huh? Yeah. I'm a child of God. God is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. In other words, God told you to tell me something that he never told me, and I communicate with him on a daily basis. God didn't tell me that that calling is for my life. That's probably what you think and what you see for my life. Cool. But God didn't tell me that. And in other words, is I have children, and I know we have parents that's right here watching me live and living color. I know I have parents that's watching the replay of this live. Now, here go the preacher about to come out of me. Here it is. When you communicate with God on a daily basis, God is going to tell you because you are his child. If you have ears to hear, let them hear. In other words, is you have a child. If you're a parent, you have a child, right? You are a parent. You are a mother to your child. You are a father to your child. Why would somebody else got to come to your child and tell your child something that you didn't tell your child, and you communicate with your child on a regular basis? I mean, at some point, your child is supposed to naturally feel like, dang, my mom and dad told you to tell me that. They didn't even tell me that. I just spoke to my mother yesterday. I just spoke to my dad the other day. He didn't tell me that. You have a prophecy for my life that my parents told you, and they never gave me this prophecy. That's a red flag. I'm trying to help somebody. Why would the Lord send somebody else to tell you something that he can tell you in your communication with him? But I tell you this for sure. If Claressa Shields is talking to the same God that I serve, he been giving Claressa Shields warning signs for a long time. Yeah, I'm telling you that right now. Because here's the thing. I told you this before. God don't bless no mess. God is not going to bless Claressa Shields or Papoose for being in the relationship that they're in right now. It's not going to happen. It goes contrary to God's word. I'm not here to judge them. I'm just saying, if God is telling Claressa Shields a lot of these things, why not he tell her the things that's going to make her more fruitful and productive? God is never going to go against his own word. We all know that. Right?
But God has already let me know I have designed it for you to win. Like my last fight against K. Scott, right? I have fought against girls who are way better than K. Scott.
Right.
But it wasn't in front of, well, in the UK, it was in front of 20,000, but that was 20,000 of Savannah Marshall fans.
Right.
Kind of.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So being able to be a ticket seller in America, and now I'm fighting against K. Scott, it was like God will give you opportunities. It's all about, are you going to take advantage of the opportunities? And it was like, listen, K. Scott was tough.
Yeah.
She was rugged. She was experienced.
Stop, Claressa. Now you lying on God, and now you lying on the fact that K. Scott was experienced. All of us know, even the casual boxing fan that don't know too much about boxing, even they know K. Scott was not that experienced. Her record was 5 wins, 1 loss, and I believe 1 draw. She was the least experienced professional boxer that Claressa Shields fought in her whole career. Somebody stop me when I'm lying. K. Scott was not that experienced. K. Scott was not rugged. K. Scott was not a hard fight to win. This is not a diss on K. Scott. K. Scott, I appreciate you, girl. I always commend and applaud the efforts of every professional boxer, male or female, that first decide in their mind and heart to make this their livelihood as a professional. And second of all, to actually carry it out for more than one professional fight. I believe professional boxing is the hardest hustle in America. I believe it. I told you all that. Now, professional wrestling is right there. Because sometimes I go back and forth and be like, I think professional wrestling is the hardest hustle. But then I go back and think about boxing again. They neck and neck, but I'm only going to represent the sport that I love the most. So I got love for you, K. Scott. This is not a knock on you, boo. But Claressa, stop playing. That girl stood right in front of you. Stop it, Claressa. I mean, I'm going to keep it 100 with you all. Based on my knowledge and experience in the sport in a variety of different ways, I had Claressa Shields knocking her out within 3 rounds. I did. I may have said that publicly, but I know for sure, I told a lot of friends of mine privately in multiple conversations I had leading up to this fight. Come on, Claressa, stop playing. And the wins that K. Scott got, those 5 wins, they were not by knockout. She has absolutely no knockouts on her record at all, professionally speaking. So we already knew that she was not a power puncher, nor was she a physical threat to Claressa Shields. And Claressa even knew that. Everybody knew that. Not only that, but K. Scott was 42 years old. And you know what? I have to say this, and I hate to keep bringing this up. But my thing is, if you're so great, Claressa, and I'm sorry, I'm going to keep bringing it up, man. If you're so great, Claressa, what did you call Victor Conte for? Did God tell you to call that man? No, I mean, she keep telling me God told her all this stuff. She keep telling y'all God told her all this stuff. She told the interviewer at TMZ Sports all this stuff. So I figured, did God tell you to call Victor Conte? R.I.P. to Victor Conte. A convicted steroid and performance enhancement drug administrator, manufacturer, and even dealer. You mean to tell me God told you to call him? Is that why your performances have been enhanced, Claressa? Is that how you keep hurting these girls in round 1, round 2, round 3, round 6, round 9, and round 10 in your fights? Will you have this exuberant power that resurges? Did God tell you to call Victor Conte, man? You know, that's the $1 million question I've been dying to get the answer to. I mean, I'm just asking. All them bumps that was on your stomach leading up to this fight. I pointed this out, y'all. You know, people starting to use my screenshots all around the social media outlets. You know, when I circle the bumps that's on Claressa Shields' face, y'all seen that on other platforms, and it's all good. I'm doing that for a reason. The people that are members of the Roller Tape family that's been around me for a year, 2, 3, y'all know why. Y'all know the residual effects, of certain performance enhancement substances that cause bumps. I told y'all that 3.5 years ago. No. Don't lie on me and say that I'm just picking on Claressa. I pointed this out in David Benavidez when I showed y'all screenshots with the circles on the bumps. Y'all remember that? Some of you were here. I showed y'all that with Terrence Crawford when I put the screenshot up with the circle around his forehead with them bumps. I showed y'all that with Devin Haney, bumps on his face. Showed you that with Shakur Stevenson, bumps on him. Showed you that with Brian Norman Jr., bumps on his chest and his back. See, I circled it and put it on the screen because when I talk and I don't say in my opinion, I show y'all receipts and give y'all the evidence. I said it about Caleb Plant, bumps all over his back. I said it about Manny Pacquiao. I mean, the list continues to go on and on because I know what to look for. And I taught all of you what to look for. for Claressa Shields. What did you call Victor Conti for? Don't you tell me Jesus told you to. Don't you lie on my God and say Jesus told me to call Victor. Come on, man. Stop playing. R.I.P. Victor Conti. You know, I got to keep saying R.I.P., but, you know. Understand, God keep telling Claressa all this stuff, but her behavior patterns keep proving to me that she's doing the complete opposite of being godly. So either God is telling her all this stuff and she not listening, or she lying on God. Either way, she's still lying.
But God was like, you have worked so hard on getting knockouts and you have failed time and time again. But now you're sharper. Now you're sharper. You know how to aim your punches. You know how to time them. You're very strategic. This fight here, you need to get the knockout.
She said, God told, I want to play that last piece again. God told her to get the knockout. God told Claressa Shields, y'all, to knock out K. Scott. Lord have mercy.
1,000 of Savannah Marshall fans.
Right.
Kind of.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So being able to be a ticket seller in America, and now I'm fighting against K. Scott, it was like God will give you opportunities. It's all about, are you going to take advantage of these opportunities? And it was like, listen, K. Scott was tough.
Yeah.
She was rugged. She was experienced. But God was like, you have worked so hard on getting knockouts and you have failed time and time again. But now you're sharper. Now you're sharper. You know how to aim your punches. You know how to time them. You're very strategic. This fight here, you need to get the knockout.
Good God from Zion. Lord have mercy. God told Claressa Shields, for this fight, you need to get the knockout. Now, if you're just joining us, you might have to go back. When this live go off, go back in the replay and rewind it a little bit, because I played the audio where Claressa Shields said God told her how she should perform, because she said Usher was sitting ringside. She said Zeus was in the building. She said Floyd Mayweather was in the building. She said she was a performing around close to 20,000 people. So God told her. And this fight right here, and she said, this is the Mecca of black people. This is the black Mecca. Yeah, black people. Yeah, God told her to get the knockout. Hey, man, did y'all, speaking of black people, did y'all see all them black people out there booing the national anthem and booing that singer? No, the black young lady, she did an okay job. She did an okay job, you know, singing the national anthem. The young lady that sung when Claressa Shields fought K. Scott. Yeah. No, I get it. They was cheering loud and everything because Lift Every Voice and Sing was sung too. I heard that was the black national anthem. Yeah, I learned the whole lyrics and song in the choir in middle school. So I know the lyrics, but I'm just saying they sung that. You know, they sung Lift Every Voice and Sing. Everybody cheered. But when it was time to sing the national anthem, man, them black folk booed. But God told Claressa Shields to get the knockout. I wanted to understand something about Claressa, because I'm trying to help her out too. Claressa, do you know who you talking to? No, because she keeps saying God told her. And I'm just, you know, you got to know how to distinguish between when God is telling you something and when the devil's telling you something. There's a gift. It's called discernment. And I don't know if Claressa Shields have that gift. Me personally, I don't want to judge and assume and say she doesn't. Based on her behavior patterns, based on certain characteristics that she displays, I can assume no. But just to be safe, because that's my opinion, I wonder, does she know who's talking to her? Because she's equating God's blessings with millions of dollars. That's what she said in the beginning of this interview. Having the glam, That's what she said in this interview. And having jewelry. That's what she said in this interview. And I want to encourage somebody else before I let y'all go. If you don't have millions, if you don't have the glam, if you don't own any jewelry, that does not mean that God does not love you. That does not mean that God is not blessing you. Because all of the things that Claressa Shields is equating to having a relationship with God is all materialistic. Okay? Just want to make sure we were clear on that. And guess what? Everything Claressa Shields named depreciates in value each day that pass on this earth. I just figured I'd let somebody else know that too. So if you are a believer in God, and you have a relationship with God and you fellowship with the Lord, don't be discouraged by what Claressa Shields is saying and what you heard her say. Just because a person has a lot of materialistic things or material wealth or even a lot of money, it does not mean that they are blessed by God. I just wanted to put that out there to somebody else. Somebody needed to hear that this morning. Yep. Yep. Why do you think in the Black community we have so many of these quote unquote mega churches and even the smaller churches that adopt this mentality and business structure to make an appeal to the congregants and the attendees and the church members by trying to show how much wealth they have? I'm talking about the clergymen and women. The preacher has to have the best car in the parking lot. Have to wear a lot of designer fashion. Has to wear jewelry. Have to wear designer frames. Him and his children, his wife included. Have to show you that they are being blessed by showing you materialistic things. That's what the quote unquote church considers as being prosperous. But I want to encourage you today. Somebody need to hear this. If it doesn't apply to you, that's okay. But somebody need to hear this. Jesus didn't have all of that. In fact, Jesus was homeless. I'm not here to, maybe I am here to preach. But the point I'm really generating is materialistic things don't equate to having a real genuine relationship or fellowship with the Lord. Huh? Jesus didn't have a place to lay his head, but you've seen how he healed everybody. But you've seen how he genuinely blessed everybody. It wasn't based on his appearance either. The Bible says that Jesus wasn't even attractive physically. He did not want to make himself the center of the attention by being attractive so that the ladies can flock to him, to wear all his jewelry, to have a big mansion. Notice that's with the Pharisees, the scribes, and the Sadducees. The Sadducees, they had all of those materialistic things, and it appealed to people, and people thought that they were close to God because of their materialistic things. Somebody need to hear that this morning. So don't equate having a real relationship with God. Even if you don't know God, I'm telling you right now, you need to get to know who he is. He have a plan for your life. He has a purpose for your life. And it has absolutely nothing to do with you being rich or wealthy. You can be rich and wealthy, and God can bless you with that. But that is not the focal point of having a relationship with God, nor is that the measuring stick. I'm here to help somebody. You might not have a car right now, but that does not mean that you are not blessed. You might not have a home right now, but that does not mean that you are not blessed. The fact that you here right now listening to me under the sound of my voice lets me know that you still have another chance. I still have another chance. See, salvation is a gift. You can't do anything to earn it. See, money can't buy salvation, just like money can't buy peace. Watch this. The people that some of you idolize, and some of you idolize Claressa Shields too. I know you do. Some of you idolize celebrities. I know you do. But here's the thing. All this money they have, all this glam they have, all this status that they have, all these materialistic things they have, they're not at peace because majority of them don't even know God. Hey man, look, I'd rather live in a small studio apartment, believing in God and being blessed every day, especially with his grace, his mercy, and his peace, than to have all this money and can't trust nobody around me. Have all this wealth and money and materialistic things and go straight to hell after I die. And while I'm living on earth, living in hell. That's, I mean, I'm just talking about me. These false prophets have exploited the lack of knowledge and the desire of people to genuinely want to know who God is and grow in him. And those people are not blessed. So Claressa Shields talking about how much jewelry she had, how much clout she had, how much of her status is keeping her in the algorithm. Her mansion that she has, all of that sound good. But guess what? She can't find a man, a real good man, that's going to lead her to God. Want to know why? Because she want to be in control. Papoose is the best that she can do. You mean to tell me God talked to her and that's the best that she can do? Now, we're going to get to Beyonce and I'm going to let y'all leave. But I'm just trying to figure out, what God is she talking to? She quoted a Bible verse. God will make your enemies your footstool. The devil used the Bible verse to tempt Jesus. So we know he know the Bible too. He know the scriptures. He know the word too. Claressa, if you listening, and you know I'm going to tag you in this like I tag you in Papoose and everything else I say. I need you to find out, sweetheart, who you actually getting your information from. Who is it, God or is it the devil? You need to know, Claressa. Your spiritual health requires it. Your physical health requires it. Your mental health requires it. I'm going to leave somebody with this because somebody else need to hear this. When a person talk about God and they use a whole lot of cuss words, you need to be careful of believing what they say about God. No, the only reason why I'm saying that is because the scriptures say that blessings and curses come from the same mouth. You can hear somebody say the word God, say the name God, and then literally within seconds, they use a curse word, or especially trying to judge somebody else. You ever notice that? I'm not judging people. I'm just keeping it all the way 100. When people talk about God, let me give you an example so you can understand. A lot of boxers will say, after they finish winning, they'll say in the post-fight interview in the ring, when the interviewer says, "Oh man, congratulations on your win. How do you feel, champ? I mean, what's going through your mind? I mean, how do you feel now that you won?" "Well, first of all, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ." And then 20 seconds later, they say, "Yeah, but I beat these bitchs up." 20 seconds later, you will hear him say, "Man, I'll kick the next person's ass." I'm not just talking about Alicia Baumgartner and Claressa. I'm pointing all of them out, men included. "Yeah, I want to thank God for making this all possible." And then 20 seconds later, "Man, F-U-C-K all my haters." Huh? You was just talking about Jesus. Hamdulillah. And then they start cursing. You said something about Allah a few seconds ago. Now you talking about shoot 'em up, bang, bang, bang. I mean, Claressa Shields played an excerpt of this preaching lady a couple months ago. Y'all remember that? I did a whole live on it. Go back and check go back and check my live. Fact check me. And I criticized Claressa humbly by telling her, you playing this audio in your live about what this preaching lady talking about in church, but you was the same one last week that did laughing emojis on Shadeja Green, and that girl suffered a brain bleed in that ring and went into a coma. And you thought that was funny. Where's the God in that, Claressa? That's what I said then. And then you start cursing, talking about how you would smack these bitchs up. In the same live, y'all. I pointed this out. So all I'm saying, I don't care if it's a content creator included. When you hear somebody keep talking about God this, God that, God this, and then 20 seconds later, in the same sentence or the sentence after it, they start getting the cussing. Better watch out. Better watch out. We're known by our fruit. We're known by the fruit that we bear. What we say, what we do. No one's perfect. I don't have to say that. We make mistakes. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying the core of who a person is. You're known by their fruit. So if Claressa Shields is talking to God, I'm glad to hear that. But I'm going to need her to listen when God tell her what her next move should be with this married man. Because God never contradicts himself. It's impossible. His word never come back void. Hey, that's all I'm saying. All this status Claressa Shields have. All this money Claressa Shields have. All this jewelry that she has. And she's still inspired by somebody. Leave y'all with this. The interviewer asked her, is there any other questions that I left out that I should have asked you? And this is what Claressa Shields said. Roll the tape.
Well, yes.
You didn't ask me who inspires me.
Who inspires you?
You didn't ask me who inspires you. Excuse me. Let me quote her correctly. You didn't ask me who inspires me. That was the question that she said the interviewer left out here on TMZ Sports. You didn't ask me who inspires me. See how she want. I'm going to leave that part alone. We're going to get the mental health another time. But the point that I'm making is she wanted him to ask her who inspires her. Now, all this talking about God told her this. God told her that. I wonder why she didn't say God inspires her. This who inspired her, y'all.
Beyonce.
Okay.
Beyonce. Did y'all hear that? Not Remy Ma. All that stealing, willing, and dealing she be doing. No, Claressa be doing the stealing, willing, and dealing. She be stealing, willing, and dealing on Remy. Beyonce don't inspire you, Claressa. You dress more like Remy than you do Beyonce. You trying to rap like Remy more than you try to sing like Beyonce. That's all I'm saying. She says she's inspired by Beyonce, and she might be telling the truth. And that's great. Interesting.
Tell Beyonce before I retire. Where the camera?
Talk to Beyonce. There you go.
Beyonce, listen, baby girl. Before I retire, which is in 8 more years, I'll retire when I'm 38. So it's actually 7 years. Sorry. I need you to walk me out. You pick the song, and you can only perform 30 seconds, 1 minute, whatever you decide. But before I retire, I need Beyonce to walk out the greatest woman of all time. And that's my...
Why you got to talk to Beyonce through a camera lens? All this money you got, all this status you have, this glam you have, all this jewelry you have, you can't get Beyonce on the phone? No, she said she's an A-lister. No, y'all probably missed that part. She said it. I'm an A-lister. You know, she said it. If she didn't say it then, she about to say it right here. Here it is.
only request. I won't ask you for nothing else. I won't even ask you for a picture if that's not what you want. But come walk your look. I'm not saying right now. I know I'm A-list, you A-list, but
I know I'm A-list, you A-list. I'm not talking about right now. Why Beyonce got to wait 7 more years to walk you out to the... Stop playing, Claressa. Oh, no, I won't even ask you for a picture if you don't want. Claressa, you could have got Beyonce to walk you out in Atlanta in your last fight. Isn't that what the National Football League did? No, the NFL did do that. No, for the Super Bowl when Beyonce sung the national anthem. Y'all remember that? They had her sing. Wasn't that in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken? Okay. Everybody else can book Beyonce. Why can't you? Why you got to wait 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 7, 11 years? Welcome to 7-Eleven. Why you got to wait? Why? Welcome to 7-Eleven. Why you got to wait 7-11 years for Beyonce to walk you out? If you A status now and Beyonce A status, you shouldn't have to wait 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 years. By the time you wait for Beyonce in 7 more years, Claressa, you might be 38, but Beyonce might be retired. I'm just saying. You should have got her in your last fight. Because in your next fight, Claressa, I think you should have Remy Ma walk you to the ring. That's just my personal, hey, this is my opinion here. I'm just saying she should get Remy Ma to walk her out in her next fight. That would be great. Or maybe the fight after that when Papoose finally saw that paper and get this divorce finalized. I think that there it is. After Papoose and Remy Ma finalized their divorce, I think Remy should walk Claressa Shields to the ring. I think that would be great. It would be great for every content creator. It would be great for Claressa Shields. She always liked to be in the algorithm. Her social media page is going to pop even more. It's already popping now, right? She's going to make a boatload of money. She's already making thousands of dollars via social media per week. Her words, not mine. I'm not pocket watching. That's what Claressa Shields told this interviewer here earlier on. I just didn't play it. But I think she should have Remy walk her to the ring. And look, she should give Remy Ma the same carte blanche that she would give Beyonce. I mean, look, you heard her. She said, look, you can perform any song you want to perform. 30 seconds for 1 minute. I think she should give Remy Ma that same opportunity. Oh, yes. And let Remy choose what song she want to walk. Oh, that would be so dope. Yeah. That would be nice. But she's inspired by Beyonce. Not by God. Not by Remy Ma. But Beyonce.
People, yes.
You didn't ask me who inspires me?
Who inspires you?
Beyonce.
Okay.
Tell Beyonce before I retire. Where the camera?
Talk to Beyonce. There you go.
Beyonce, listen, baby girl. Before I retire, which is in 8 more years, I'll retire when I'm 38. So it's actually 7 years. Sorry. I need you to walk me out. You pick the song, and you can only perform 30 seconds, 1 minute, whatever you decide. But before I retire, I need Beyonce to walk out the greatest woman of all time. And that's my only request. I won't ask you for nothing else. I won't even ask you for a picture if that's not what you want. But come walk your... Look, I'm not saying right now. I know I'm A-list, you A-list, but I ain't talking about right now. I'm talking about... Give me about good 3, 4, 5, even my last fight. Walk me out, and my dreams in boxing would be... They will
Completed every